the largest aircraft carrier in the world, is moving toward the coast of South America. The USS Gerald R. Ford has officially entered the U.S. Southern Command area of operations, with Venezuela already on its radar. The Pentagon claims it's an anti-narcotics mission, but satellite images tell a different story. Behind the diplomatic justification, a silent move is unfolding, one that could shift the balance of power on the continent. The Gerald R. Ford is not just another ship. It's the peak of American naval engineering, a 100,000-ton floating fortress capable of operating for 25 years without refueling. Escorted by destroyers, cruisers, and at least one nuclear submarine, it forms a strike group built for full-scale war. Officially, it's patrolling Caribbean trade routes. In reality, it positions a deterrent force just a few miles from Nicolas Maduro's regime. U.S. Southern Command is the branch that oversees American operations in Latin America and the Caribbean. Its official mission: protect strategic interests and combat transnational crime. But in the real game of power, it represents something bigger: the invisible boundary between the West and the rise of new global players. In recent months, Venezuela has tightened its ties with Russia, China, and Iran, opening doors to military cooperation and energy deals that directly challenge Washington. The presence of the Ford in the region sends an unmistakable message. The United States is ready to act if the Caracas-Moscow axis pushes diplomacy past its breaking point. Recent history between Washington and Caracas is defined by tension and distrust. Since the rise of Hugo Chavez, Venezuela turned anti-American rhetoric into a cornerstone of its national identity. But under Nicolas Maduro, the crisis deepened. Sanctions hit, the economy collapsed, and the 2024 elections sparked international backlash when Edmundo Gonzalez was recognized as the legitimate winner. Meanwhile, Venezuela accumulated debt with China and supplied subsidized oil to Russia, even as the war in Ukraine intensified. The arrival of the Gerald R. Ford is not just a military move. It's a symbolic one, a reminder that American supremacy still sets the rules in the Western for the White House. The timing is strategic. Trump and his Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, have already stated publicly that Maduro cannot remain in power. The rhetoric has hardened, and now it has military backing. Analysts believe the Ford strike group could carry out reconnaissance missions, special operations, and even precision strikes against strategic targets. No government admits to intervention plans, but the pattern is familiar: deterrence, blockade, and, if necessary, direct action. The line between humanitarian discourse and preemptive war has never been thinner. The Caribbean is once again the stage for an old dispute: power versus survival. Venezuela tries to endure, cornered by sanctions, debt, and isolation. The United States reinforces its presence, turning the sea into a warning and diplomacy into a shadow. The Gerald R. Ford now sails under the same flag that has crossed every ocean of modern history. A reminder that control of the waters still means control of the world. And when the next conflict begins, it may no longer be about territory or oil, but about the very meaning of who still has the authority to command.